Why do we sweat? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, are you somewhere right now where you can do 10 jumping jacks? All right, I want you to get set. Make sure you're in a safe spot so you're not going to hurt anybody. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! All right, that was pretty good. Can you do it again? 10 more jumping jacks. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! All right, that was pretty good, but can you give me 10 more? And I want them fast. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Whew, okay, I'm not going to ask you to do any more. Now, you probably noticed that your heart is beating faster right now, and you might even notice a little sweat on your skin. Have you ever noticed that when you play hard like that, your skin feels wet? If you're playing really, really hard, you might even feel dripping water off of your hair or your forehead. And what's it all called? Yep, I already gave it away. It's called sweat. Your body produces water out of your skin. Have you ever wondered why it does that? I was thinking about sweat today because I got a couple of emails from a couple of curious kids named Palmer and Brecken. They wondered, why do we sweat? And what is sweat made of? Sweating is one of the most important ways your body keeps you safe and working properly. See, sweat helps control your temperature. Your body works best when it stays around the same internal temperature all the time. It likes that nice, steady temperature. When you run or play or dance or even when you're nervous or stressed, your body warms up. Muscles create heat when they work, and if that heat builds up too much, it can actually be dangerous. Your body wants to stay that same temperature. It doesn't want to heat up. So, your body has its own built-in cooling system, and we call it sweat. Right underneath your skin are tiny structures called sweat glands. Most of your body has eccrine sweat glands. Can you say eccrine sweat glands? These glands make sweat, and sweat is made up mostly of water with small amounts of salts and minerals. When your body gets warm, your brain sends a signal to these glands that says, hey, it's time to cool down! So the glands push sweat out onto your skin. But the sweat sitting on your skin doesn't cool you down all by itself. The real power comes from something called evaporation. That's when a liquid turns into a gas and disappears into the air. Think about when you spill some water on the ground, and that water just kind of disappears on its own. It evaporates. When sweat evaporates off your skin, it takes some heat with it. That pulls heat away from your body, which lowers your temperature. Now, sweat can also happen when you feel nervous or excited. That type comes from different glands called epicrine glands. They make a thicker kind of sweat that mixes with bacteria on your skin, especially in your armpits. That's why sweat from exercise usually doesn't smell much, but nervous sweat can smell stronger. Now, like I said, sweat is mostly water, but it also includes tiny bits of salt, potassium, calcium, and other minerals. That's why your skin can taste salty when you lick your lips after sweating. You also sweat out very small amounts of waste chemicals your body doesn't need, too. Sweating isn't the same thing as going to the bathroom, but it is a way of your body to keep your insides clean. Pretty cool. Now, how many sweat glands do you think you have on your body? Well, you have millions of sweat glands. That's how many you need to keep your temperature steady. And here's something I didn't know. Babies and young kids actually have more active sweat glands across their body than adults do. So you have more sweat glands than me. So think about this. Right now, even while just sitting still, you are probably sweating a little bit. That invisible sweat keeps your temperature balanced so your body stays healthy and ready to play. Pretty cool. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. What helps cool your body when sweat disappears into the air? That's called evaporation. And what part of your body tells sweat glands to start sweating? That would be your brain. Let's play true or false. I've got 4 today. True or false? Sweat is made mostly of water. That is true. Mostly water and then a few other minerals. And salt. True or false? You only sweat when you're hot. False. You can sweat when you're nervous or excited too. True or false? Evaporation helps cool your body down. That is true. True or false? Sweat is the same thing as going to the bathroom. False. They both remove waste, but they're very different processes. Would you rather have sweat come out only from your elbows or only from the bottom of your feet? Neither of these sound ideal, but if I had to choose one, I think I'll go with my elbows. Yeah, elbows. If I had sweaty feet all the time, that does not sound pleasant. At least with the elbows, they might just drip onto the floor. I couldn't wear shoes at all if I had sweaty feet all the time. All right, let's play a couple of rounds of What Am I? What am I? I turn from liquid into gas. I help your body cool down. I happen on your skin when sweat disappears. What am I? That would be evaporation. What am I? I live under your skin. I make a watery liquid. And I help cool your body down. What am I? I am a sweat gland. Okay, one more game today. This one is called What Else Cools You Down? I'm going to name a situation. You tell me if it helps cool you down or not. Does standing in front of a fan cool you down? Yep, the breeze helps sweat evaporate faster. Does wearing a heavy winter coat cool you down? Nope, that traps heat. Keeps you warmer. What about drinking cold water? Does that cool you down? Yep, it cools your body from the inside. What about wrapping yourself in a blanket? Does that cool you down? Nope, same as a heavy winter coat. That warms you up instead. Well, today we learned that sweating is your body's amazing cooling system. It keeps you safe when you get hot, helps control your temperature, and even works a little when you're nervous. Your brain, your sweat glands, and evaporation all team up to help your body calm down after working hard. It's neat that your body knows how to use outside forces like evaporation to aid it in keeping you safe. Pretty amazing how everything just works together. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out, so until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a couple of birthdays today. Today is Brendan's birthday. Brendan is from Tennessee, and Brendan is turning 6. Hey, Brendan lives in Tennessee too. That's where I live. Happy birthday, Brendan. And Oliver is turning 4, and Oliver lives all the way over in California, about as far from Tennessee as you can get while still being in the United States. I like visiting California though too. I hope you like it there, Oliver. Happy birthday, Oliver. To all the grown-ups listening, if your kids want to be in the Curious Kids Club and get their birthday mentioned on their birthday, please visit supportcuriouskids.com. Again, that's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.